Friends, there are many limitations, conditions, and safeguards which have been introduced in GST in the recent past. The most recent being Notification 94 2020, which was issued yesterday, wherein there are various limitations, conditions, and safeguards on input tax credit as well as outward supply, which may lead to cancellation of registration or suspension of registration and other stringent actions by the revenue. In this release, we will discuss yesterday's notification 94 2020 and the changes in respect of input tax credit and outward supply. The most important and critical changes is in Rule 21A and Rule 21. Rule 21, which relates to cancellation of registration, as per Section 29 of the CGST Act, provided four conditions for cancellation of registration, which included where invoices were issued without receipt of goods or services, or where place of business or bank account details provided by the registered taxpayer were incorrect. Now, new clauses E, F, and G have been added to Rule 21. Rule 21E provides that in case the registered taxpayer violates any condition for claiming ITC under Section 16, his registration may be cancelled. Rule 21 Clause F provides that in case the outward tax liability as per supplies mentioned under GSTR 1 is more than the outward tax liability paid in GSTR 3B, the registration may be cancelled, or on violation of Rule 86B, the registration may be cancelled under Rule 21 Clause G. Friends, what we can understand from 21E and F is that in case your GSTR 1 tax liability and GSTR 3B tax liability, which is devolved, there is a significant difference, then there may be a condition where you would get inquiries from the department. And in case those inquiries, as we have seen, which comes under Section 61, that is scrutiny of returns, then there may be a suspension of registration which may involve severe consequences, as we will discuss going forward in this release. Similarly, there are four conditions of claiming input tax credit under Section 16. That is, you have to have original tax invoice, you have to file your own returns, the goods or services embedded in the invoice should have actually been received, and most important is that the tax in respect of the invoices on which ITC is claimed, that should have been paid to the government under Section 16 subsection 2. Mind that many a times it is seen that purchases of goods or services are done sometimes out of inadvertence from unscrupulous dealers who do not pay their taxes to the government, and therefore the recipient is held liable for the input tax credit claim, and the recipient has to reverse the input tax credit. Now, wide insertion of this clause E in Rule 21, this violation of this clause under 16(2) may lead to cancellation of registration and thereby disruption of the entire business. This is a very stringent provision, and therefore it is important that the registered taxpayers take cognizance and the matching as per 2A and the matching between 1 and 3B is done on a regular basis. Friends, in addition to this, we all know that Rule 21A was inserted in the last year, whereby before cancellation, there could be a case of suspension of registration on a hearing. Now, that provision for a hearing before the suspension has been done away with. So, under Rule 21A, Sub Rule 2, the suspension of registration can be done by the proper officer even without an opportunity of being heard, thereby leading to a disruption of the business possibly. Again, to corroborate with this, Rule 21A Sub Rule 2A provides that in case there are significant differences between your 2A and 3B or between 1 and 3B, then it may also lead to suspension of registration. Many commissionerates in the past have already invoked these, whereby on taking of excess ITC or where the 3B tax paid is less than the GSTR 1 liability, they were suspending the registration even without a corresponding rule. However, now with this amendments of Rule 21A and Rule 21, there is more teeth in the law. It is important for the taxpayers now. Reconciliations and compliances under GST becomes all the more very important so that the business can continue seamlessly. In addition to this, Rule 21A3 and Rule 21A4 provides that the refunds can also be suspended if the registration is suspended, and correspondingly Rule 138E has been amended to provide that e-way bills will also remain suspended during such period of suspension of registration. Therefore, friends, it is now very clear the intention of the authorities, and as per the press release also issued by the GST Secretariat, that the 2A and 3B and 1 and 3B matching and payment of taxes have to be very, very scrupulously done by all the registered taxpayers. Friends, in addition to this, Rule 59 Sub Rule 5 has been added, whereby in case the previous periods GSTR 3B has not been filed, the current period's GSTR 1 would be blocked. A major amendment or addition is Rule 86B. While this rule would going forward be challenged or not, it is a thing which remains to be seen. However, as of now, Rule 86B provides, and the intention of the Secretariat as per the press release is very, very clear, that this is to abstain the unscrupulous dealers who take the registration and then they fly off. So, in case of such dealers, Rule 86B would be applicable, whereby it is provided that at least 99% of the outward tax liability can be taken as input tax credit. However, 1% of the outward tax liability have to be paid through cash and not by input tax credit. Also, there is a provision under Rule 86B that it will be a cumulative computation, which means that it is not that it would be seen month on month. In case, say for example, till date you have paid by cash 5% of your outward tax liability. However, in the current month, you see the entire liability can be paid by ITC, and cumulatively over the year, you have paid more than 1% of your outward tax liability by means of cash, then also the rigors of Rule 86B would not be applicable. Furthermore, there are other relaxations, like if you have claimed and received a refund on export or SEZ supply under 54(1) or 54(2) wide inverted duty structure of more than 1 lakh rupees, then no need to follow 86B. Also, even if this is not applicable, then in case the concerned person, that is the company, HUF, LLP, etc., or its managing members like board of directors, partners, etc., have paid more than 1 lakh rupees in the previous 2 years as income tax liability, then the rigors of Rule 86B would not be applicable to them. 86B would not also be applicable to PSUs and government bodies and other authorities. Friends, another few important developments we will discuss. One of the most critical developments is the inception of GSTR 2B, which is a frozen statement of input tax credit for a particular month. Now, we all know that Rule 36(4) that has now been amended also restricts the input tax credit. Therefore, how to calculate? What would be the parameters on which the revenue authorities would calculate how much of ITC to restrict? Because 2A is a dynamic statement. That is why GSTR 2B has been introduced, so that the authorities for a particular month get one figure of ITC which is available in 2A for future assessments. However, now there is another important activity which requires to be done, that is reconciliation between 2A and 2B. As it is, you are reconciling between your purchase register and 2A. Now another reconciliation is required between 2A and 2B, and there would be primarily three requirements of reconciliation. That is reconciliation due to this circular 26/2017, whereby ITC of one period can be claimed in another period. So it may happen that in the last period you have not claimed a particular ITC because possibly you do not have a tax invoice. In the current period you have claimed that ITC in 3B, so it is appearing in the 2B of last month. However, you are taking it in the 3B of the current month. It may be that there is an amendment by the supplier in his GSTR 1. That amendment would reflect in 2A in the month of the invoice. However, it would reflect in the 2B in the month of the amendment. There can be timing differences whereby in the last month, maybe the particular ITC has reflected in your 2A, but you have taken the credit in 3B because you have received the goods or services in the current month. So all of these points of differences can be there between your purchase register 2A and 2B. And therefore, this reconciliation also has to be kept ready, because now the authorities have got teeth to invoke suspension in case the 3B credit taken is substantially higher than the 2B figure. Now a question is generally asked is whether we consider 2A or 2B as the statement for input tax credit. Our legal submission in this point is that Rule 70 of the CGST rules have still not been amended, and therefore GSTR 2A remains to be the statement which should be seen for the purpose of matching of input tax credit as of now. Friends, another important development is the QRMP scheme, that is quarterly return monthly payment scheme for taxpayers whose total supply, that is taxable supply in a year, is less than rupees 5 crores. They can avail the QRMP scheme, whereby they are required to file the IFF, or they can furnish the invoices in invoice furnishing facility every month. However, they are required to file the 3B quarterly, and they can pay 35% of the previous period's tax in cash after excluding the ITC month on month. A very important provision in this QRMP scheme for recipients, and this is very important for the recipients of goods or supplies from those taxpayers availing QRMP scheme, is that the QRMP scheme taxpayers would have the facility of uploading invoices where the taxable amount is up to rupees 50 lakhs. Therefore, what is required to be done by the recipients is that they should ask these QRMP scheme suppliers that, gentlemen, please ensure our invoices are uploaded via IFF by you month on month, so that you don't have to defer your input tax credit by 1 quarter till he furnishes his GSTR 3B. Correspondingly, the input tax credit restriction under Rule 36 Sub-Rule 4 has been further reduced to 5%. You remember, in October 2019, there was a restriction that the taxpayer cannot avail more than 20% of ITC exceeding the GSTR 2A figure. From 1st January 2020, that restriction has brought down to 10%. Now, from 1st January 2021, the registered taxpayers will not be able to avail input tax credit of more than 105% of what is reflected in the GSTR 2A. Mind that I am using the return GSTR 2A for the purpose of Rule 36 Sub-Rule 4 still, because Rule 70 explanation still requires the matching to be done while GSTR 2A. So friends, these are the various amendments which have recently come, and they impose limitations, restrictions and conditions and safeguards for the tax authorities. The taxpayers, on the other hand, have to be very careful in their compliance going forward, so that they ensure that their businesses are running smooth and there is no invocation of suspension or cancellation ab initio of their registration. Thank you very much.